Welcome to Linkpreneur. Welcome to Linkpreneur. Welcome to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome back again to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome back to Linkpreneur Stories. We are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you, whichever part of the world you're tuning in. Tell us how your day was. Here I am, yet again, another episode with another fabulous guest today who have made it to the top, shared their expertise, their strength to just uplift everyone across the world. Today's episode is indeed a very, very, very special episode. Are you ready for it? Welcome to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome back again to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome to Linkpreneur Stories. Welcome back to Linkpreneur Stories. We are live. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you, whichever part of the world you're tuning in. Tell us how your day was. Here I am, yet again, another episode with another fabulous guest today who have made it to the top, shared their expertise, their strength to just uplift everyone across the world. Today's episode is indeed a very, very, very special episode. Are you ready for it?
I really believe that bootstrapping is a process where every founder or every founder to be must go through.
Well, Tony Fernandez at my age, at 40 years old, he already start asking money for hundreds of millions, and I'm just asking for a few millions. It's still not a big deal for me.
I seriously love failure, and you cannot imagine how much I love failure. I look at failure as such a big blessing to me, I am so thankful that when I fail, because it just means that I'm going to be so much better the next time.
If you have all the money in the world, if you have all the time in the world, what will you spend your time and your money to do?
Hey guys, welcome to another amazing episode of Linkpreneur Stories. This is the 71st episode. I so damn remember the first batch of 9 episodes when we did it last year in March. And indeed, ever since, it's been about 18 months since we started, and a long journey so far. Amazing guest, amazing leaders, thought leaders, influencers from all across, and especially Southeast Asia. So welcoming everybody here who's watching us live right now on Linkpreneur Stories, guys. This is a place where we get to be the bridge between the ambitious minds and the minds who have done and dusted it. Drop me a hi, guys, if you've just started watching, and tell me from which part of the world are you tuning in, because that's my favorite part. And if you have been here already, you know the drill. So guys, let's just drop a hi to everybody out here. I know it's just the momentum getting up, and I'm excited to see all of you. Today's guest is coming in from my own place, Malaysia, and I'm so excited. He is indeed, okay, I can't say much about him. Let's keep that as a secret for the next few minutes, because I know it's going to get unveiled, but not here, not now. Okay, Keith. Hey, welcome, Keith. Welcome, Ratiga. Welcome. Good evening, guys. Don't give up the names. If you know, don't. Hey, Shannon. Lovely to see you. Hi, guys. Drop in a hi. And from which part of the world are you tuning in? Today's guest is going to talk about accelerator programs, startup, technology startup, digital ecosystem. If the term seems like today too technical for you, then not after this episode. And if you're already introduced to these terms, then it's time to upscale your knowledge. And if you are looking for a venture capitalist, if you're looking for an investor, then definitely you are getting some of your answers today, because the guy comes with a whole lot of experience. But yes, today was a holiday in Malaysia, guys. I am excited to hear how exactly did you enjoy your holiday. Trust me, I realized it at 2 p.m. when one of my, I would say one of my Zoom call happened, and the person said, Kush, by the way, it's a holiday. And I'm like, okay. Have work from home done that to you as well, that you don't realize your holiday and you only end up realizing over calls when someone asks you? And that's the time I'm Googling, what is it today? Hey Keith, hey Diong, lovely to see you. Hey Saiful, Shravan, Michelle, Dr. Tana Lakshmi, hey Uma, it's lovely to meet all of you. Guys, a quick shout out. If you have been waiting to ask questions as well, stick around towards the end. We're going to have a special audience segment as well. So, as we're getting started for the day, and I'm excited to read your comment. Hey Rapreet, lovely to see you as well. Hey guys, for everyone who's watching, do make sure to drop a hi and don't miss out to share this video, because don't be selfish, guys. Don't keep the knowledge to yourself. We need to take the stories to the world. And it only can happen with the support of you guys, because your love has got us to come here until the 71st episode. Now, it's time to unveil the guest. No, it's not yet the time to unveil the guest. It's time to bring up my co-host, Anil Meghani, right up with me. So Anil, can we see you right up on the screen? Okay, he's keeping us waited. Hey, right up here. Lovely to see you, Anil.
Hi Kush, how are you doing? Very good evening to lovely people from Malaysia. I know today is a public holiday, and I'm sure you guys are enjoying out there. Do share what are you doing today? What are you doing today in the comment section? And we are super excited for our 71st episode. What's it, Kush?
Absolutely. We have Aaron Oliver as well joining us. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Oliver. Lovely. Excited to see all the speakers, even myself. Hey, Oliver, coming in from Labuan, Malaysia. Not bad. I have not been there. I really want to go there once things are little more better than what it is right now, though I know interstate travels have opened up. But still, I'm patient on that. No problem.
I'm super
Okay,
excited
yes.
to go to Malaysia, Kush, to meet you and Chetan.
Yes. I'm so excited to welcome you as well, Anil, right up here, waiting. I'm guessing hopefully by December, we're going to meet you. And we're also going to meet our amazing tribe when we host an event. Guys, give me a hashtag event in the chat section if you would like to actually catch up for a coffee, mama, or a dinner round together, like a huge group. But yes, it's still under discussion, and we're going to take every COVID measures that's going to require. But yes, lovely audiences here. We have Nupur and everybody already. Anil, now, of course, it's not a holiday in Singapore, so I'm not going to tease you with all the work jokes at all. But yes, tell us.
Yes. Now, I think our welcome is enough. Now let's welcome the guest on the show. I'm sure he's patiently waiting in the green room on the studio. And let's welcome him, because he's no stranger to the world of digital disruption in Southeast Asia. He's the founding partner of 1337 Ventures, Malaysia's first accelerator program that has invested in over 60 innovative digital startups across diverse areas spanning gaming, social, networking, education, big data, proximity marketing, wearable technology, fintech, and recently social enterprises. Isn't that a big list, guys? He's also the co-founder of iTrain, Southeast Asia's leading digital technology powerhouse that has empowered over 5,000 plus companies in advanced digital technologies, and Lead Capital, one of the 10 licensed equity crowdfunding platforms that are helping SMEs and startups grow via the alternative funding. The diverse experience and the skills which he brings in is an invaluable commodity for the many entrepreneurs out here, corporates, and professionals playing to win in the digital future. Let's put all our hands and excitedly welcome Bikesh Lakhmichand from Malaysia.
Hey Bikesh, it's lovely to have you right up with us. So here we have Bikesh joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's a
Lovely
pleasure.
to see
It's
you,
a pleasure.
Bikesh.
I'm like so excited the way you like rival up the crowd. It's like woo! It's like a talk show in one of those late night talk shows.
So I think the talk shows becomes interesting with our guests coming in because they bring in so much of information and knowledge, and the excitement just gets even more fiery. So I'm keen to see the next 40 minutes and really uncover a lot of things with you.
Looking
So,
forward
you
to it.
guys have good fun. I'll see you later.
All right,
Absolutely, Anil. See you very shortly. Okay, so Vikesh, right up here, I'm excited to indeed take our discussion to the next level. But guys, one more very important introduction to Vikesh is, which I know it's great, everything is awesome, but he's an awesome father as well of a very, very, very handsome boy. Very handsome boy. You know, I literally can adore him for hours and hours. So genuinely, that's very important thing which we have to mention in your introduction, Vikesh. I think your son is so adorable. I can't stop talking about him even when I was back home. I remember.
Thanks so much. Yeah, he's a handful, just like 3.5 years old. Started school last week, 2 days into physical school, and then boom, came back next day, high fever. It's like, oh, he's at home. He hasn't been out for so long, like the last 2 years. The first time going
Right.
to school, meeting people, and he's like one of those guys that just came back with a massive fever. God knows where he got a bug from, but he's all right now. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can imagine with the word fever, our brain goes to every single direction possible and it
Yeah, I
scares
know.
us
I mean,
from.
we're first-time parents, so we get overly paranoid. You see, like, oh my God, high fever, boom, you're at the hospital, and the pediatrician is like, "What do you guys keep doing this? Just give him a little bit paracetamol, he'll be fine, chill." But that's your first time. You want to protect your
But
kids, so you go over and
I
beyond.
think I think I kudos the doctor here because they are able to manage the stress level of the parents to a very
Correct.
beautiful extent because they can really make us more paranoid there. But yes, Vikesh, it's lovely, and I hope he's healthy by now.
Yeah, he's fine. So back to today's a holiday, so we spent a day out at the mall, so he had fun. Yeah.
Superb. That's amazing. I only realized it after the half of the day was over. But yes, but yes, of course. Let's talk a little bit about. I know my audiences would be waiting about Accelerator, and I would love to touch upon that. But why Bikesh is talking about Accelerator, I would love to bring that and go back a little bit. 1337 Ventures. Tell us a little bit about that, Bikesh, and how Accelerator has become a part of your life as a founding partner.
Yeah, so I mean, first thing I think the typical question we get is, what on earth is 1337, right? Do you say that way? Some guys goes 1337, 1337. That's a mouthful, but we pronounce it as LEET. Where in the geeky world, numbers are alphabets to us,
Yes.
so that's LEET, being a little shorter word of the elite word, right? So elite being the best. So that was our kind of mantra or premise of, we only want to invest into the best minds in the country. So if you're amazing, you're working on amazing things, then that's what we want you to be in our network with other amazing founders and invest in you and help you fundraise till the end. So how we got in there, it's like it was an accident. I call myself the accidental investor. In fact, everything I do in life, it was an accident. It's not like I grew up as a kid saying, when I grow up, I want to be a venture capitalist, right? And who even knew the term? So I went down the typical route, was a geek, had a developer role as a job. Eventually, then I quit my job. I set up a training consultancy firm to teach people how to code better. And then, we did some interesting projects when the iPhone launched, and we started helping people become app developers. And eventually, they all started their own companies. And when they ran some amazing companies, we just got so excited working with them, and I just accidentally gave them money. They needed some cash here and there. I eventually rented a nice little Soho studio, and I gave it away for free to developers that quit their jobs and don't have a place, because back then was 2011. We didn't have incubators, accelerators, not much co-working spaces for the individuals like what you have now. It was very business centric, and I just gave it away free for developers, and we really liked being next to them and helping them figure it out. So before we knew it, we were formalized as the first accelerator in the country, and we were investing into companies officially. So my other co-founder runs the training division right now, and I focus on Lead Ventures, which is the venture capital arm.
Wow, I think, Bikesh, there's so many things that we touch upon, but personally, when I was at Found 8 and knowing that 1337 was also, or I should say Elite now, I was most intrigued and always wanted to ask why, what's the reason of 1337? I didn't know that I'm going to actually find it out on the show today. But that's a very interesting thing, because I have read a little bit about 1337, and Elite was the word that was used almost everywhere, and now I can really connect the dots. But yes, accidental investor. Now, this is something that's super interesting, and I would also love to touch upon a little bit on the training side of it, because that is something I'm pretty naive, I would say. But yes, I would love to hear more about that as well. So first of all, of course, as it is an accident thing, which means that you really learn in the process and you know how to do it, because when we do it, we practice it, we really have a better knowledge of what not to do and what to do it. So at this point of time, if in normal words, we would like to really explain people Accelerator in the startup ecosystem, how would you even do that to our audiences right up here?
Yeah. Like the word says, right? To accelerate means go faster. So that's what we do for companies. You come with an idea, you leave with a product. Well, not just a product with customers, hopefully. So that's what we do. We have a 100-day program where if we like what you're working on, basically you come to us and you tell us the premise of who you're trying to solve a problem for. If the problem's big enough and you have an interesting take on what you would do to solve it, then we will give you some money. I will give you some expertise and know-how to go from idea to product in a 100-day cycle. And within that 100 days, it is basically giving you all the tips and tricks that we know to basically get a product out to a base of customers in the quickest means possible. I can't say that we know the secrets of every single thing, but we know a lot of things that would fail. Because, in the past, when we first started, as you said, jumping into this as an accident, we made a lot of mistakes. We lost a lot of money. But that basically became experience. So now when you come to me and you say you want to do this, you want to do that, I can tell you 3 people did that 3 years ago. It didn't work out. Maybe you want to do it this way instead. So that's what we give you. We don't have answers to everything, but we can tell you when you're going to hit a brick wall. And so you can avoid that. And that's what an accelerator is, to give you that prescribed guidance to get a product to market in the quickest means possible.
Wow, I think that makes complete sense. And of course, 100 days is a very lucrative time, because it's not too long. It's about 3 months plus. And getting it from an idea to product, because it can take much longer when you're trying to motivate yourself personally. But of course, when you have team and all, it's a different process altogether. Very well explained that it gives you inputs which you need from the experience of yourself and other investors and mentors in the ecosystem, which would be the part of the tribe. Now, of course, Bikesh, here, if I can a little bit understand, what kind of businesses are you closely working with, so that we can really get into that, because I would love for our audiences to relate with you here specifically. Do you go with very matured startups already, or you're actually okay with someone having an idea and very passionate, is solving a big problem, and they can come to you and they say, okay, Vikesh, is there a possibility for me to get an investor through your, of course, Accelerator program?
Yeah. So we're one of the crazy ones in this country where you can come to us with an idea, which is just a PowerPoint presentation or Keynote or Google Slides, whatever you want to use. And we will dare say, I think this is something we want to get into. And we would basically think about funding it. So we really like to work with very early stage companies. We primarily, I would say, focus on technology-based companies because the whole idea with venture capital eventually is to scale. So if you want to go beyond the country, it's a small country, 30 million population. I don't think so you can address everyone in the market unless you're like Grab,
Right.
where 1 and 2 has that installed. You're working with a very small base. So you got to think about how to make money really fast, and you got to think about how you could go out into other regions really fast too. So that's basically very easy with technology for sure. So having said that, we've dabbled in companies who are not technology based, but eventually become technology enabled. I think it's very hard to not be technology enabled today. So examples, two interesting things we funded. And the reason why we can do this, just a backstory, is a typical venture capital will normally have a fund. The fund would come from other investors who put money into you, and you invest on behalf of everyone, right? That's how the model basically works with venture capital. Eventually, they all want to make their money back. So how you put money into companies, sometimes you can't take too many risks. A little bit risk, a lot more not so risky, so that you can guarantee the capital's return to some people, right? So you want to return the capital. For us, we're using our own cash. This is our own money. We call this balance sheet investments. The money we make, the money we invest back. So we can do more crazier things. We could
Correct.
Someone pitched me on Clubhouse a couple of months ago. We thought, that's a cool idea. 2 weeks later, the guy's funded, right? So we can do things like that. We can work really fast compared to typical venture capital. So what we've done in the past was we decided, why not invest into things that we wouldn't typically invest in, because there's some opportunities in there. And with technology, we think it could scale. So we invested in a farm. And this is a typical farmer and basically wants to figure out how to digitize farms. So we, with our connections, helped him get urban rooftops from property developers we know, and scale farming to roofs, right? And that's enabled with IoT sensors, so it's an unmanned rooftop and things like that. The other one we just invested into was a factory. It's a typical factory creating furniture, but we love the story. It was a 28-year-old family-run furniture business. The kids took over. The kids wrote a 100-year business plan. I've never met anyone in my life that wrote a 100-year business plan.
Okay, let me tell you, Vikesh, is this, I'm forgetting the name, the green
carpenter, Harit, right?
Harit, exactly.
So he's trying to bring technology in to figure out how to be, one, sustainable, zero waste. He's achieved most of that already. But the idea is, how do you scale manufacturing? How do you go manufacturing of the future with IR4 and all these things? So we love that whole premise. We put money in and we're helping him raise. And in fact, we're going to help him even get to his IPO in 3 years from now. So we'll just love founders, right? You come and pitch something great. We think you have the grit to figure it out, to be persevered through this whole program. And we want to be next to you and see this basically through, right? So that's how we operate. A little bit more different than typical venture capitals, but that process we do at the beginning, that's the acceleration, to see if there's legs in that, to basically push you.
I think that is what gets you so grounded, and that is what connects you to actually homegrown entrepreneurs and startup founders, to especially Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Because I've spoken to so many startup founders who are at the early stage, and they speak so highly of 1337 Ventures, because it's not about following the rules; it's about just following the right things, and there's a little bit of difference there. I know Yes Hello as well, or Hello Yes, I'm just missing out on the name.
Yes Hello, yeah.
Caliph, yes, exactly. I mean, they were part of your last program as well.
Yeah, they just went through it on Friday, the demo day. We haven't announced who we're investing into yet. That will come out by end of this week. And then Monday, we started a whole new batch. It's a whole new program again. So it was back to back.
Oh, wow. So there's open for registration, is it?
No, already open, already closed, already started. So this Monday, rather yesterday, day before yesterday, 25 new companies are embarked on a 4-week journey with us to basically see who would get the next check for. This was more focused on fintech and insurtech. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. That's amazing. That's amazing. So guys, I hope you got a bit of an outline of what exactly we are touching upon here, and I'm excited to take in your questions. So, quick shout out to everyone who just joined us. We have Bikesh with us from 1337 Ventures, or I should say Lit Ventures, and indeed they're focused into empowering young startups to, or even ideas to product. And indeed, today we're going to talk about how exactly, as you can see, can Accelerator really empower startup growth? Can they? Can they? Let's get to know more stories from him on Linkpreneur Stories. So here, Vikesh, of course, there are two sides to the coin. Some startups would exponentially grow and would deliver huge profits. Some startups wouldn't see that kind of profit and wouldn't see that kind of growth. Now, because you have experience of thousands of startups by now, I would really love you to emphasize here, what are the core mistakes startups usually make while looking for a venture capitalist, or even going from the phase of idea to the product phase, and probably they are not being empowered by an accelerator and they're just trying to do it by themselves.
Wow, let's see, how much time do we have? I'll
Okay, so
summarize
let's focus on three mistakes. Let's focus on three mistakes.
So I will, well, the three could be around three categories, right? One is idea, one is people, one is money. So idea, basically, they are more in love with the idea than what the idea is should be, in terms of, does it truly solve a problem, or this is just something cool you thought in your head and you want to do it because you want to do it. So validation, right? That's the first thing we stress when we sit down with the founders. Prove to us that this problem is real and there are people outside there that want and not really want this, but need this, and they would pay for this. So that's the biggest flaw of startups, right? Why they fail is because they can't make money. You can't make money if you can't sell, and you can't sell something that people don't want, and people don't want what they don't need. So the whole premise of, that idea, is that the right idea to solve? That's the biggest thing. And that sometimes the ideas can be right, but the timing is totally wrong. You're way ahead of time to basically build it. The tech is not there, the access is not there, so you could fall on that idea. The big next part is the people. You don't have the team to basically pull this off, and that happens too often. People come to us with great ideas, but they just don't have access to the people who can build it. And that is detrimental. It's like going to a restaurant saying, I want to open up a restaurant. I don't have a chef. Like, what do you expect to do? Outsource your cooking to another restaurant next to you? That's not sustainable, right? So you have to figure out how you get a team together. And then third one is money. Not just about access to money, but knowing how to make money. You can't say that I will figure out the revenue streams later. You need to know how you're going to make money with your product as early as possible. Even though you don't act on it, you don't make the money now, but you know what the model is going to be. The business model has to be sound. So that's the three things we always look at, like the idea, the people, and the money.
Lovely. I think this is what exactly they look at. So guys, you know where you want to be more sure about, and at least these three spectrums, you don't want to go wrong at all. Because as we're going deeper into the idea of Accelerator and everything, can you just give us a little bit of high-level view of what a person experience or what a founder experience when they goes through this journey?
Yeah. So we've run, because we came from a very training background. So what we did was very programmatic, right? We even have now a pre-accelerator before the accelerator, because we realize a lot of people, when they jump in and they just want to get products out there, they just don't have the right basics in terms of a know-how, how to start a business. So what we basically make them go through is pretty much the idea, people, money concept. The first week, we focus on the problem, the customer. So they go out there and they prove to us that this is basically something that needs to be done, right? You're doing interviews, you're doing surveys, you're trying to get facts from the ground that shows that there is a group of people out there that find this as an issue. The alternatives out there don't really cut it. And we have a smarter way to slice bread, right? So you justify the product needs to exist. And then the next part is basically focusing on the product. Because it's only 100 days, you can't build everything and anything into a product, right? You have to get just enough to get the point across. So that concept in the tech world is called an MVP, the minimum viable product. It does what it needs to do, but in the least amount of steps, in the most unsexy form, in the most rudimentary form, just to prove that the concept works. So that's us working with them to figure out the product. So once you know that the problem is real and who has this problem, and you figure out the product, the next part then is to figure out how do you get into people's hands. So that part, sometimes you don't do it sequentially. That's something we'll try and basically get them to figure out at the beginning already. How do you, like what you're doing now, right? This is amazing. Building these tribes, building these communities. A founder needs to know where their people are and how to build and get that community up and going before they even launch the product. So when the product's out there, you have the right people to use it. And we have to keep stressing to them, there's two different kind of people out there. You got the early adopters, the people very forgiving to take a product that's in its very rudimentary form, love it, and tell the rest of the people, you got to be on this. Because that's mainstream, right? The laggards or the mainstream market happens later. You'll spend too much money if you try and focus on getting everyone in Malaysia to use it rather than just 10% of Malaysia to figure it out first, which is the early adopters. So those are the stuff that we kind of have to educate them and show them how do you do this in a prescribed guidance method and take the product to market. So that's why you can't come alone. This is not something, it's never going to be a one-man show we invest in, because there's no way you're going to do all these things. To figure out the customers, figure out the product, figure out the marketing, you need minimum 2. We will love you have 3 people. And then with the fundings coming in, you can expand the team, hopefully.
Right. I think that's a beautiful rundown of how exactly it looks like completely. But now that we have covered so much about Accelerator, I would really love to deep dive into 1337 a little bit, because at the end of the day, 1337 is itself a business, I would say, where you are literally empowering individuals who want to run their business or are having a dream to run their business. So has there, as the company founding partner itself, have you had times which were not very rosy in the business? So because you are on the other side, you're the investor, but does on the investor side, there are situations where it's not pretty shiny?
Yeah, definitely itself. Like the hardest part is, of course, trying to make sure you have money to give people money. So typical accelerators and VCs, you have this fund, and this fund is other people giving you money to give it to people. But then how you run that business model is very different, right? You have to do what they basically tell you. So we never wanted that. So we had to have some street smarts in terms of saying, how do we ensure that we always have money to keep giving money away? So that always kept us on our toes. And again, that whole accident was because we were the first to do it and we failed and we learned from the mistakes. Everyone now wants to come to us, and I'll give it away. That's our revenue stream. People want to pay us to learn what not to do once you launch your own corporate innovation program, your own accelerator, your internal accelerator. Any company that wants to get into transformation, and that there's an element of looking at external companies you want to invest in and you don't know how, that's basically the advisory that we basically provide. Pays handsomely well. And basically that's the income that we get right now that sustains us to basically put it back into companies. So everything that we make goes to the team that basically works on this amazing mentoring program that we have and back to startups. It's a cycle that we basically have. And of course, now we've got some newer revenue streams, right? We've basically have the crowdfunding license. So companies who want to raise from public, we're a license provider for that. There is a commission when we raise funds for you online, and that becomes income to us too. But the primarily thing that we do is we took what we learned about investing into local companies, creating a programmatic approach, and we provide it to practically every corporate in this country that needs to set up their innovation centers. They basically white label that from us.
Lovely, not bad. I think that's amazing because you guys curated it. So at the end of the day, being early in the whole process, it's just keeps you on the pioneer place, definitely.
Yeah,
so
and because it's tried and tested every batch, right? And we keep tweaking the program, so it's ever evolving, and the corporates always get access to the latest thing.
Correct, absolutely. And I can imagine, because every time when, so personally, because I run, of course, there's a digital agency that we do, which is on the boutique side of it, but at the same time, we're a digital academy focusing on LinkedIn and sales and all of these things. But I remember the first batch that we did, and now that we're on the 15th cohort, it's absolutely different. So much of transformation that has happened, learning from the customer experience, of course, which is like what they like, what they don't like. And all of these things have helped us to evolve so much. And that brings me to another question. But before that, a quick shout out to all our audiences, guys. I'm just going to quickly bring in your question right after our rapid fire. And if you are still thinking when to put your question, then it's now. Zuraida said true, IR 4.0 towards IR 5.0. Love you mention on IoT sensors. I think it's of course on the technology side of it, everything you mentioned, and she comes from the technology space as well, from of course the sustainable aspect. We have question from Shaban already. So wait for a while, guys. It's time to drop in your question. And here my question comes in. So Vikish, of course, you're coming in from the training and the coaching space. And now that's transforming to edutech as well, because that's how the entire space is moving in, and it's marrying technology in this whole pandemic phase specifically. Moving down the lane, of course, how much do you believe in the whole concept of going all out and taking the education industry, the edutech industry? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, so we came from that, right? And so we run this organization called iTrain. We license our content to 15 different countries right now. We're partners in Dubai right now. We're pitching some deals over there. It's great. It's a great industry, but we started to see a shift happen in the last couple of years. Of course, COVID can accelerate that, where people can learn online. So that's where the trouble is, right? A lot of training centers are not doing well because of that situation. People weren't ready to learn online. People learn online very differently. And because you're learning online, that means you could learn from anyone. So why would you learn from a local provider when I could learn now with the MOOCs available from MIT, from Stanford? You could go to IDEO. You could take any course anywhere in the world. Why would you take a local version? So this is where you have to see the training industry step up. How would you supplement that content with more localized content, examples, or something more experiential that you can't get from just taking a course online itself? And in scaling that, if you were going to do this online, then why would you focus just Malaysia as your customers? And how would you expand that to the horizon, which is global by default, right? So that's something we've been doing with iTrain, of course. We've been putting our courses online and growing more of a Southeast Asia and a global audience too, saying like, yes, you could get courses from Udacity and all these different places, but the global world could also get it from us. So we're going out there and saying we can do that and do it with a different twist. And same thing goes with Lead, right? The Accelerator, because everybody's going online and we wanted to scale, when the pandemic happened and we had the lockdown, we decided to do something really crazy, saying, why can't the Accelerator also be online? It used to be very
I read about that. I read about that. You were the first company to take the Accelerator program online, I believe, in Malaysia, as soon as the pandemic happened. Congratulations on that.
We're also the first in Southeast Asia. In the US, I think Y Combinator started it very similar to our timing itself. But it was amazing, right? We would do this face-to-face with just 25 companies before, because you couldn't scale when it's in a room. But when we did it online, we thought, well, everyone's stuck at home. Why don't we just help everyone if we could? It was killer on our team. We took in 250 startups, the first batch, and we decided, let's take everyone in. And every day we just mentoring. Some amazing companies came out of it. We funded it. In fact, this guy's raised, his pre-seed valuation was already $5 million US. It's just less than 18 months in. So it grew so fast. And these amazing companies were just born out of MCO. So we loved it. And now we've been doing it every quarter. Every quarter, we want to do our online accelerator. Next year, we're a bit more crazy. We thought, if we could figure out how to scale this and automate the process, then let's do this every month. We want to do this every month, fund a company every month, double down on companies every quarter. So that's the crazy things of how we're taking this and doing it as a programmatic approach, scaling it online, leveraging technology, but still having that kind of high touch on the side. So how we use things like Mural and Miro and Google Slides and Teachable, all these different platforms to leverage it to give that same effort you would have face-to-face, but sometimes even more, because the learning's never ending when it's online.
Absolutely. So damn true, Vikish. Congratulations. Hey guys, let's hit a congratulations to him. It was wonderful. I was witnessing that growth on the social media when I had read about it. I had seen some of the pictures as well, and it was beautiful to see. Indeed, Vikish, just to share with you the Clubhouse experience that you're talking about, there has been earlier also a few Clubhouse experience where I knew you were in the Clubhouse room and you were talking about funding businesses, and that was So interesting. And that time Clubhouse was pretty new. I'm talking about 5 months ago. Now Clubhouse is still well adapted in the ecosystem, greater than what it was. But yes, let's jump into our rapid fire, because now is the questions time. Then, and my audience like, Kush, when is the questions coming in? So Bikesh, are you excited for the rapid fire?
I have no idea what to expect, but let's go.
Okay, so the rapid fire is from your den, which is, I'm going to ask you, what are your favorites, or what is it that you resonate, connect to that particular statement? So tell me whatever comes to your mind in terms of when I say that.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it. Okay, so a mentor.
Experience.
Okay, the website you spend most time on the internet? Don't say Google.
Thecan.com.
Sorry?
Thecan.com. It's an amazing journalism piece on the startup ecosystem. Long form writing, beautiful, out of India.
Really? Do you mind spelling it for me once again if I'm not able to?
the-can.com. It's paid subscription, no free, but amazing stories, amazing writers.
That too from India. Okay, I'm hearing them for the first time. So it's like Tech in Asia of India?
Way better.
I hope they're not listening us.
But
Okay.
I'm subscribed to both. I have a premium Tech in Asia. I have a premium the Can.
Okay, so Maria is happy now. Okay, a successfully or the most achievable moment of your life, like you felt like, okay, this is what I was doing all this for.
Oh, when you invest into a founder, the founder has an exit, and the founder comes back to you and says, I want to invest into your companies too. And we have that a couple of times. So it's nice to see that circle happen.
Wow. Okay, that's wonderful. Lovely. A thing that you're super proud of in your life?
My kid.
An investment that you are glad you did it?
Oh, every one of it. In fact, you should ask me investment that I wish I did.
No, I'm going to come to that. I need one name. I'm not going to. So it's like a father saying, I love all my kids, but it only gets difficult when you choose one. So the choice is only one. Which is that one company that
you
really...
do that. My portfolio is going to call me like, how am I not your favorite? So I guess one of the first ones we did that's still alive today, and they're about to have an exit. I'll get more funding. I like Park Easy. That was one of the first ones we invested into. So glad that they still survived past 5-6 years, still raising, still doing well.
Superb. One company you wanted to invest, or you almost got an opportunity, you didn't, and you regret it?
A couple of it. Coins, they got bought over by Gojek for $72 million and send it out of Indonesia that a few months ago became a unicorn. Yeah, that too I missed out. I mean, I said no to, but they were at my table.
Superb. Okay. And an investment you are not proud of?
So I guess the early days, we did a lot that we failed because the premise was we invested in very tech people, and the tech people were not business savvy. So we did lose a lot of money for hardware startups, the hardware ones initially.
Okay, very diplomatic or politically correct answer with no names, just to be clean here. Okay, so okay, I'll let that go. But yes, Bikesh, one animal that you resonate with yourself the most?
I'm more of a dog person.
Loyal. Okay, lovely. Okay, a favorite holiday destination?
Oh, any island. Has to be an island.
And so you have a choice either. Okay, so you're a beach person, and if you have only one choice, either your son or your wife to go to that particular island, who would that be?
That's such a wrong question. She's not listening. No, I gotta take both, of course. Yeah. You're evil.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, I'm guessing your wife is around, so yes, I'll give that to you, and we keep that as an answer, which is
but my kid loves the beach too. We took him to beaches while he was a baby, right? So he loves the beach. She loves the beach. We all love the beach. So we look forward to just heading to an island soon.
Okay, a very good rationale to it. But yes, Bikesh, that was a wonderful wrap to the rapid fire. It was lovely to know so much about you. And now and I think you did pretty well. It was pretty fast and indeed pretty good as well.
Thank you.
So now we're going to get into some audience's question, and I'm just going to quickly check. Okay, we're going to start with the question that is coming in from Sean. So let me just check his question here. Okay, yes. So Sean has a question which says, what are the things that one should check before investing in a company? Not bad. I think you're getting some more investors here.
Yeah. So for us, when we evaluate a person, it's early stage companies, right? So it's very, very dependent on the people, the founder. So we love to find out the reason why they're doing this. Because if they're truly passionate and they have a very strong conviction to the problem, you know they're going to see it through. If someone is just very opportunistic about the scene and saying, it's an opportunity, I want to jump in because this is really a hot trend right now, chances are if they can't get it going that far, they're going to quit and move on to the next trend, the next trend, the next trend. So you want to be very sure that the person's purpose of why they're doing this is that conviction is really strong. And regardless, even if they can't raise the next round, they're going to do whatever it takes to see that idea through. They will bootstrap, they will eat like ramen and Maggi mee every day just to survive until the next round comes in. And we've seen that time and time again for founders who are very passionate about something, getting in maybe at the wrong time because they were too early to try something like that, or highly regulated. It takes a while to basically figure out how to get regulations around your side, and they will die for the company. They will stretch it for the 1-2 years just with 50,000, 150,000 until now they can raise the millions itself. So that passion has to be there.
And Vikish, what is that one thing you personally is a deciding factor for you, let's just say, when it comes to investing or really getting to, is it the people, is it the idea, or is it something else?
So the people is one, but then you also want to make sure that they're passionate about it. It's great. That's one thing. But they also know the problem at the back of their hand. So, when you talk about the problem, this person can go on and on about it, and they've done their homework and they understand what the issues are with that customers that they're trying to focus on. And that's just amazing, right? That's something you go, because we're coming in early, it's not about the product, because the product can keep changing. But the fact that this person understands that audience, you trust this person to figure it out eventually, right? You give them the money, you step back, and they will figure out what they need to do to get that solution out there. It may not work in the first try, and then they will pivot, and we've seen that many times and it works.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really great. Okay, that really comes down to a point, which is awareness of what market are you in and how much do you understand the consumers. But with this, let's take up the next question. Okay, Anil himself has posted a question, and so I'm going to take that up, which is, which would you choose and why? A startup with great idea and aggressive and achievable business plan, and another startup with few customers in business and a decent business plan?
I'll fund both. I think that's great. The key is to see if they have the right people in it. So it doesn't matter if they have a bad idea, but a great set of people, that will still work. Because good people can fix bad ideas, but good ideas can't fix bad people, right? So the core still has to be the people. So we don't mind if they come in with a few customers already. They don't come in with customers because we're at early stage, right? We can fix that. We can fix if you just come in with an idea. But the thing we can't fix is if your team is broken, your foundation is not right, I can't do anything. It will fail. So we won't get into teams or foundations of that.
Okay, awesome. Just to know, Bikesh, 1337 Ventures, if anybody is keen to be a part of it, before we go further, is only, of course, we have a large amount of Malaysian audience joining in, and I know Malaysians are already part of it, but is it open for other parts of the world as well, or it's just for Malaysians?
So that's something we've been experimenting with. When we do the online program, we don't limit regions. We've been getting people from India, from China, New York, Chicago, you name it. We've got them in. If you want to learn how to start a company and you want that prescribed guidance, as we say, then you can join. But can we fund you? Then that's going to be difficult. Right now, we're just kind of funding people who can establish in Malaysia. But if you're saying you want to come and set up here, it's become a bit more easier for foreigners to set up here. There's the entrepreneur pass, like how Singapore has it, Malaysia has it too. So you can have 100% Malaysian or foreign-owned company here in Malaysia. Then it's something
Right.
we're getting for, right? Will we send money over to the other country? Not yet. But that's where we're thinking. If we can scale this as an online program, can we scale funding, leveraging things like crypto in the future? And we could, fund anyone anywhere, have a smart contract to own equity anywhere. I think those are the stuff we're looking at in the next couple of years for sure.
Lovely. Yes, yes, yes. I can so damn relate to foreign-owned company. Don't tell
Yeah.
me. Every rule, every regulation makes me feel like I'm foreign-owned, not local. But I mean, no hard feelings, but that's given, of course. It's natural to have something like this. But yes, I think Bikesh, of course, just understanding where we are right now, I would just, we've talked so much about work. We have talked so much about the whole journey, but just going down a few years back into Bikesh's life and coming to a point where you're today empowering 1337 ventures and so many startups right now. What's the plan moving forward? I mean, you still want to keep this like the thing and empower more businesses moving for other reasons? What is it like?
Yeah, I think if anything, we're just going to step on the gas and accelerate the accelerators. Like we said, we're sitting now with our team to figure out how do we scale this even bigger? How do you make sure that you're having an intake run all the time? So anytime somebody has an idea, you don't have to like, oh, is there an accelerator running? Is there one thematically approach that I can basically join? You don't wait to say, when you have an idea and it's hot in your head, you shouldn't be waiting. You should just be running, right? So we want to scale this. It's something that has to happen all the time. It's got to be something where we figure out that any point of time, every month, 1 or 2 founders, we just write those checks to, and then have the ability to always double down on them. And that's something we didn't do as much as we should when we first started, because again, we're running out of the balance sheet, right? Primarily, our money was to seed as many startups as possible to give them a fighting chance to start. But we didn't say that I'll be with you the next step, the next step, the next step. And that's something we're starting now. We've got some angels together with us now that wants to double down on everything that we invest in. So I think scaling that funding part for early stage, that's the biggest gap we saw in this country, especially Malaysia, right? You can get funds for the later stage because it's kind of a sure thing. If you can do well and get to that stage of Series B, Series C, the next step is an IPO practically. So you're going to make money out of it. But that early ones, this is where people don't want to risk their capital. We don't have enough angels in this country to say, here's $50,000, I'm ready to lose. And we basically are ready to lose our money and we're fine with it. And because that was the premise on why we started the company. So we just want to figure out how we can do more of that and help find the next big thing.
Lovely, Bikesh. I think it's been a wonderful last 45 minutes. And as we are almost getting towards the end of it, I would love for you to wrap this up with one thing. Thousands of founders you've worked with and even more than that. One thing that you find it common in them. The successful ones.
The successful ones, grit, right? They will not take no for an answer. They will figure it out. So during even the pandemic, these people didn't have access maybe to more funding coming in, but they had a group of audience, their customers already depending on them. They just figure it out how to stretch and just make sure that they could survive and then raise their funds post-pandemic and continue on like nothing happened, right? So these people will never give up. The grit was there.
And let's just look at the reverse question. Absolutely the same question, but for the reverse scenario.
Yeah. So because they were not doing it out of passion, they were doing it out of opportunity and trend. When things get hard, they'll go like, all right, that's what venture capital is for, right? Take a risk. Risk is not worth it. I'm out of here, going to the next one. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, not bad, Vikish. That is great deal of information shared. and looking at the side of how the world is towards the other side, and what kind of rides they have to go through. I'm very happy to know one thing, Bikesh, is how you yourself, I mean, with the entire partners and the teams, are empowering and not depending on the outside source. I think that itself really connects you to every single company or startup you're working with on a very individual level. And that's where I think you have such a more charisma in the ecosystem. I think I've heard so highly about you. So it has been a pleasure to have you up on the show and share your wisdom, your story, and how you see the world from where you sit right now. So thank you so much for joining us. If you have any fun and any closing words, but before that, I do have a surprise for you. But yes, if you have any closing words, please let me know.
Yeah, I mean, closing words would be, if you're trying to go build and be a startup, the main thing is build things people want, right? Build things people want. Use less money than you have. That's the only way to be sustainable, right? If you're worried about getting to venture capital and giving away a piece of your company, look, if you want to scale, you got to go with a venture capital. If you're going to take your time, then that's a hobby, that's a business for an SME, fine. But if you want to become a startup where scale is utter importance, you need access to funds, you need access to ways to grow. You'll need partners to basically do that. You can't do that alone, and that's what we're here for.
Superb, Bikesh. That's lovely. So can people who are listening us reach out to you for any kind of funding help, investment help, or VC help?
Yeah, our door is always open. So if you go to a website called 1337.ventures, that's the domain. There's two things that we already have as resources, right? There's a thing called Pitch Tuesday, where every Tuesday, all our associates are just sitting down, listening to every single idea. No matter how good, bad, ugly it is, we will listen to your idea and tell you whether this is something we would like to help you with, or we'll just say, take it to the backyard and shoot it. Right, we'll be blunt and diplomatic sometimes, especially if the call is with me. I'm very blunt. My team is a bit more nicer. And then the other thing that we have is a website called murku.com, muru-ku.com. That's something we realized a lot of people didn't know what else was being done. Like, who are other investors in this country? What are grants you could leverage? What are corporates looking for in terms of solutions? Who are others that, like you, are solving things already in the market and what stages they're in? So we kind of index everything and anything about the startup ecosystem on their website, including events. And you could just go there and use that as a resource to find out whether is that market you're trying to solve already saturated with too many people or no one in? Or if you already started something, you learn and look at the new set of VCs you never heard of. We've got a list of anyone that invest in Malaysia. It could be regional, it could be local, but they've written a check for a Malaysian company. They're on that list, so you can find them.
Superb, Bikesh. I didn't know about Morocco at all, and that's a great.
Yeah, we built that also during the lockdown. The team had spare time, so we put that across. Yeah.
Lovely. That's superb. So guys, go to muru.ku if I'm not wrong.
muru-ku.com.
-k. Okay. Murku.com. Okay. I think, Vikish, you like Morocco, is it? I mean, what's the idea?
I like things with strange names, if you have not realized by now, like Lead 157, Morocco, yeah. We like stories.
Yes. Superb. I think, Vikish, that's lovely to have you, and also a good shout out. I think people go all out, connect with him on LinkedIn. I guess he would be comfortable there with that. Vikish?
Sure. Connect me on LinkedIn. That's fine. We accept all requests.
Superb. So just hit him a connect, guys, and indeed, it's time for the surprise. So for the surprise to be seen, let me have my co-host back up on the stage. So, hey, Anil, can we see you?
muru-ku.com. Wow, what a lovely website. I could have a flash of 10 seconds before I come up on the screen, but a lovely website, Bikesh. Wow.
Lovely. Go ahead, Anil, please.
What an insightful session. Oh, so many things which you mentioned. Loved it. Every word which you spoke.
Thank you so much. It was really fun being here.
Likewise, Bikesh. And as towards the end, the surprise for you is Anil on the show Linkedpreneur Stories is known as a 60 seconds guy. And why is that? Why not Anil explains himself?
Thanks, Khush, for that opportunity once again. I think most of our tribe and community knows about this, but this is for you, Bikesh. I've been in sales for close to 2 decades plus, and in sales and in your world, which is the startup or the accelerator world, there's something called an elevator pitch, which is very very critical. Typically, the the industry says 60 seconds is the elevator pitch which you need to keep it, and going from a level 1 to level 4, level 40. And if I have Bikesh with me in the elevator, and if I have to pitch him about salt and pepper, which is one of our gigs, I need to be sharp, ensure that the right thing is mentioned to him, how the solution is getting up. So that's all about in 60 seconds, where I kind of excite you for our next coffee meeting which is there. And that's what I do on Linkpreneur Stories, because we get lovely guests like you, who come and speak about words of wisdom for about close to 45 minutes to 60 minutes. And I try concising that and taking some important thoughts from those what you have said into 60 seconds. And that's
Wow.
why I'm known as the 60 seconds guy. So are you ready for your 60 seconds, Vikesh?
Let's go.
Okay, my clock starts now. So, guys, come with an idea and live with the product. That's what an accelerator is. That's what Vikesh said. But let me add something. Also, money will also come along with this. So don't be worried. So accelerators might not have answers to everything, but they can definitely let you know when you're about to hit the brick wall. And I can resonate with that because I'm a part of two Singapore accelerator as mentors. So that's perfectly well, right? Startups, let's have technology enabled in today's digital era. And I've been in digital space for the last 5 years. So any startup which comes with a little technology, I think that will be really appreciated by the accelerators. Accelerators can do really crazy things as compared to VCs, as they have their own fund and they don't need to take any permissions. Guys, always find the early adopters who will use your product and recommend to the other people. Learning is never ending when it's online. Three mistakes which the startups typically make, which Bikesh talked about, was IMP. One was idea. For knowing about MNP, you need to go and watch the recording. Then one mentor, which he mentioned, you need to go and watch the recording. And finally, this was my 60 seconds for you, Bikesh, but if I have to close this 60 seconds with a very good thought of Thomas Edison, the co-founder of General Electric, and we all know him very well for his invention. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. And this is a great thing which all startups need to look at it. You may have a great idea, but finally there has to be a practical usage of that idea. So that's for you, Bikesh.
Fantastic. Well done, Anil. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
You got a recording of that. Next time someone asks me that, I'll just play that 60-second clip and saying, Anil's got everything down there. I don't need 40 minutes.
No, I'm not sure that you've done enough justice because you really gave some good words of wisdom. But whatever I could find the important snippets from that, we tried doing that 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that, how you end that show. Very nice.
Lovely, lovely, Bikesh. Pleasure is ours, and I'm glad you loved it as well. But Anil, it was wonderful, and of course, topping it up with Thomas Edison. I mean, that was wonderful. Bikesh, yes, my favorite part of the entire thing was how calm you were and the kind of value you gave to experience above everything and awareness beyond that. So that is my biggest takeaway from today's episode, and especially with you being there. And I would ask all my audiences, hey guys, go up in the comment section and give your biggest takeaway from today's episode. What's that one thing that you take away from today's episode and everything that Bikesh mentioned towards your life, whether you are a startup founder or not, individual, starting with as a freelancer, or even if you are an employee or a professional? Go all out and put out one key thing that you really took away from today's segment.
Khush, can I mention my takeaway?
Yes, please.
Of course, that 60 seconds was there, but one thing which I love what Bikesh mentioned, which I didn't mention in my 60 seconds, I wanted the audience to go back and look at the recording, but what he mentioned was very nice. If you have a great idea, you should be running and not walking, guys. If you have a great idea, you should be running with that idea. I love that thought which is there. A lot of people don't have that conviction, confidence, but when you said that, I think I really love that.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to read the comments later. I will reply any questions if you still have some.
So much.
Lovely, Bikesh. I think it was great. We can see Rakpreet saying, great session, 1337, great, thanks. Passion creates sustainability. Karthar is telling great session as well. Hey guys, drop in the one big takeaway that you did from the session. Invest in people. That is one of the takeaway that is already coming in. Yes, guys. Passion drives purpose. Not bad, Anil, coming in from you. So with this, Bikesh, wrapping up for today's episode. Thank you so much for being on Linkedpreneur Stories and spending this precious hour with us and our complete tribe. Of course, we're going to have replays and we're going to put across the link to you as well. And with this, calling it for the night. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for being on the show, Bikesh. See you soon.
See you.
Okay, wrapping it up. Yes, guys, so this was a wonderful round. I think in the last 70 episodes, we have never touched upon accelerators so deeply as much as we did today. And today, having one of the founders of the entire accelerator system in Malaysia is so fascinating. And indeed, if today you have a great idea and all you need is the right people, the money to go forward with, then you know where to go today. After today, no more. You have that question. With this, guys, okay, Anil, what do you want to say?
No, nothing. I love that IMP which he shared. And I, as in school, I used to write IMP as important. And now that's gone in my head. That's gone in my head. So I stands for idea and MNP stands for something very important. But yes, that IMP was so important, which was shared by Bikesh.
Absolutely. And it is so well, I mean, as an acronym, Anil, definitely as founders ourselves, we're going to take it back because moving down the line, we have to make sure that we have a clear check on our IMP every single time, because it's not only about the early times when a business needs that to be founded or the foundation has to be strong, agreed. But at any point of time, if one of the pillars fall out, it's going to be pretty challenging. So yes, I think
the team has shared. We are on Spotify, guys. So if you want to watch all the recordings from the past, and of course, we are slowly uploading each episode. But I think by now we are about 13 episodes on Spotify. So go and register yourself on Spotify and or search Linkedpreneur on Spotify.
Yes, guys, it's going back and we have some amazing guests from different parts of the world talking about different things. So go back, listen, please drop a review and do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, guys. See you again next Tuesday. We're going to bring another amazing guest and share another amazing story.
From my country this time.
I think this battle is going to go a long way. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Wrapping up for today's session. See you all. Have a good night's sleep and hope you had a great holiday, especially my Malaysian friends out there.
Take care.
Bye.
See you next week.
Rise and shine. Yes, rise and shine, guys.
I really believe that bootstrapping is a process where every founder or every founder to be must go through.
Well, Tony Fernandez at my age, at 40 years old, he already start asking money for hundreds of millions, and I'm just asking for a few millions. It's still not a big deal for me.
I seriously love failure, and you cannot imagine how much I love failure. I look at failure as such a big blessing to me, you know. I am so thankful that when I fail, because it just means that I'm going to be so much better the next time.
If you have all the money in the world, if you have all the time in the world, what will you spend your time and your money to do?